It were men against boys out there. Southampton just oozed class and we hardly had a touch. Hello and welcome to the WTID podcast. I'm James Mappin. With me this week is Liam Russell and Lewis Southam. Liam, how are you, pal? You all right?
I'm all right, mate. I just left my notepad over there, so I was going to retrieve it. He was with us.
Yeah, he was there. Now he's gone, but he's back.
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm...
knackered. Miles.
Oh, mate. I've done, 39 miles in January.
I buggered when we went on that run. My foot's been...
Oh, blame me then.
I'm not blaming you.
Sounded like it.
It's probably because, well, you know, my legs are fucked, technical. So yeah, my foot's been... no, it's all right now, but I've not done as much as what I wanted this week, to be honest. But
recovering.
We'll go again next week.
There's still plenty of time left.
Like, there's loads of time. We're only 2 miles off, to be fair. So it's not...
Oh, yeah, all right, fair enough. I've done the 26 mile now. So if you don't know what you're talking about, by the way, we are doing Run the Month for Prostate Cancer UK, raising money for them. So the challenge was 26.2 miles over the course of January. So we're also with Lewis as well. Lewis?
Yeah.
You all right?
I'm within a mile. Within a mile. I went... because I've got, to be honest, I've got a bit sick of running. So, impact to this fat bastard coming down. I don't care how spongy your shoes are. So I've been doing it.
Tried running in your slippers.
Snapping them sponges to bottom his feet that you wash car with.
I might have to, but now, so I've been Friday night and this morning first thing on cross trainer.
Oh wow.
You get away. I don't get why anyone runs when you've got a cross trainer. You get a better workout and you get fucking far more done. So yeah, within a mile, keeping it up. Friday night and all friends and our last one. Oh, come on, have a night off. We're all going to pub. No, that were me.
Christ on a bike.
Friday night, changed man.
I'm going to say changed man.
Changed into the most boring man on planet.
Mate, that's impressive because I went out Friday. I met my mate who I used to work with, and I said, I'm driving, I'm bringing car, I'm not drinking. Got there, had 1 pint. I was like,
went down well, that.
Can I have an half? And he got halfway down his second pint, he just looks at me and went, should we just get pissed? I'm like, yeah, all right.
Hey, do you know what? When you said it, I'm a changed man, just reminded me of Nile Ranger. So have you got that t-shirt ready for Thursday night at 5-a-side?
Actually, that's a right idea.
Get me your scope goal.
Get me Power Ranger shin pads on.
That'll be classy for you.
But yeah, I know. And then, actually, but said change, man. Yesterday, I'm back on the road, everybody. Got a car this weekend.
Hey!
So when I did go to gym this morning...
No bus wanker for you?
Well, I know. It just takes me about 2 hours to get here on bus normally.
Sets off on Saturday after the match.
Not far off it. But so I've got car... And then kind of defeated object when I went to gym this morning. My gym's 5-minute walk away. Drove it.
Mate, I can't say anything because I drive to one. It's off the road. So.
We're missing point, aren't we?
No. If it's horrible.
You don't have to walk to the gym. You're doing things at the gym.
Well, yeah, that's true. Or
I'm trying to make you feel a bit better about yourself.
Well, you can do. I have not.
Not like when I used to go to Hillsborough Gym years ago with lads, and sometimes I'd just drive there and then just go in sauna. Not even bother doing it. I'll just go in sauna in the steam room today.
I feel like a bit of workout.
Got right sweats on.
Yeah, I would say as well, massive thanks to everyone that has donated so far to our fundraising for prostate cancer UK. We have raised over £1,000 in just 14 days, which is absolutely incredible. Like I said, 26.2 miles that we've been doing or had to do this month. Like I said, I've run every single day. That's 14 days in a row. And I have said I will keep running as long as people keep donating. So yeah, I will, I've already gone past the target. I'm just going to keep going and keep going. So
I'll set a new target. I'm going for double marathon. Not Snickers.
That would December.
Let's go for a double. I'm committing now. Double marathon.
So what's that? 52 mile.
Well,
to be fair, you're a mile off, and we're just nearly halfway through months. So
let's do it.
I've been thinking.
God, that's dangerous.
And this is, I know. I didn't know if I'm going to commit to this, but I might do.
He's going to do it. It's another committal.
So I might carry on doing it every month until end of season. 26 mile.
There we go. I'm gonna hold you to that as well. I'm gonna make sure you do it.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, I'll do it as long as we get some money in.
What he's saying is he's walking to Millwall next month. Get it all done in one.
Because he can't afford it.
But I'm not saying whatever I do this month, that it stops and it starts again. So if I do 50 odd, it don't count as 40. You know what I mean?
No, he's going to do at least 26.2 miles every single month
until end of season.
And why don't you finish it off? Why don't we finish it off with like? I'm going to say marathon. But it's difficult to do a marathon in terms of like actually.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's not many marathons around, is there, to do? Like, do you know what I mean? It's not like, just do a park run or something, but yeah.
Oh, why stop there? So by the end of this season, I'm going to be 4 stone. I'm going to be here on a drip.
Hey, I've lost half a stone. I don't look like it. Like everyone's looking on camera now going, fucking hell.
Yeah, camera adds £10. Stop eating fucking cameras. But now I dropped over a stone. I've not weighed in this week though, but I dropped over a stone last week. So
bloody hell.
I'm doing
that.
You know, I'm eating right and all. I'm looking after myself. It's going to be Buffalo by the end of this
New
season.
year, new me.
New you.
That's a new you. Right. If you want to do it,
new year, new you.
If you want to donate, the link will be in the show description. So make sure you click on that and donate to the cause. Like I said, massive thanks to everyone that has done so.
Thank you
already. Rather than let's talk about the football. Fucking hell.
Let's go back to running.
That's enough of the football. Anyway, how was your run?
Have you watched any snooker? Have you done anything else? Any other business?
Darts, what about yeah. Obviously it ended Southampton 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0. A bit of a rout in the end. Let's start as we always do. Starting lineup: Dawson in goal, Palmer, Bambo, Ihekwe, Johnson, Bernard, Bannon, Musaba, Windass, Gassama, and Kadamatra. So I think there were 3 changes from the side that played, the week before in the cup against Cardiff. Dawson started in goal. I mean, that wasn't one of the changes, but obviously James Beadle's coming on loan from Brighton. Lewis, did that surprise you? I must admit, it did surprise me because I don't think Beadle's come to be the guy on the bench. But
I think it were one of them. You were damned either way, weren't you? Because you dropped Dawson and everyone's like, oh, he had a good game last week, which he did. Beadle has a bad game. Oh, you've dropped, it's because of that, blah, blah, blah. He couldn't win. It didn't really surprise me. I was like, as much as last week when we talked about it in extra time and I said I'd stick him straight in, I can see argument for him to win his place. And I can see how that'd be massively demotivating to Dawson, given the game that he had, if he just went, right, sorry, this teenager's taking your spot.
I think the fact that he's only been there a couple of days and all that just probably contributes to it as well.
Yeah.
It's tricky, isn't it? Because when you, like we said before, I expected him to play because, like you say, he's been recalled. But then it's been about all around a championship team. Has he got anything to do with his goalie coach we brought in? There's numerous things that maybe I didn't think of before that.
Yeah. And I suppose as well, Brighton want him to play, but I guess being in the Championship, he's got to. We're always going to play at Oxford, weren't it? And I guess if he's going to make it as a goalkeeper, and make it as a goalkeeper at Brighton, I guess he's not just going to play every single game, is it? There's going to be times where he has got to train and be that kind of second string goalkeeper. He's probably not, in his career, he's probably not even sat on bench. I'm not saying he's just come to us to sit on the bench, but if that's what happens, I suppose he's got to realise. I suppose they already know how good he is. I mean, it's not a surprise or whatever. It's not like, let's see how good he is at championship level or whatever. But I think he will probably get his chance. We'll come on to that a little bit later on. But yeah, in terms of Dawson being in goal, I was 60-40 in James Beadle starting, if you know what I mean. They were a bit in mind thinking, well, he's stuck with Dawson all the way through. He can't really drop him, especially after the result he's had. But then again, I also thought in the back of my mind, like, it's easier to drop him now because it's like, I've brought this goalkeeper in to be number one. Whereas if, I know we lost 4-0 in the end, but obviously before the game, if Dawson had had an absolute stormer, and we'd have, a 0-0 draw, he'd made 15 saves or something ridiculous. Yeah. in your back of your mind, I'm always going to bring Beadle in. You're thinking, fuck, that's made it right difficult now, isn't it? Like you're never going to bring him in. But then there's also the thought of, I suppose it's a bit of a win-win situation because, if that makes Dawson up his game a little bit, maybe before he was thinking, well, Vasquez is never getting in. Whereas now I might go, wait a minute, like I've got someone.
Watch out, Beadle's about.
Oh dear. Wait a minute, 10 minutes it took to get for that one.
That's got old quick, that, hasn't it? He's not even played a game yet. Secret sighting.
Yeah. One thing I would say though, one of the guys on the Patreon group, he was saying, he said yesterday, watching the keepers warm up today, it's obvious Beadle is head and shoulders better with his feet than Dawson. Beadle was even out at half time kicking about with the subs. I'm guessing this is why he's being brought in. To which I replied, what, for kicking about at half time with subs? I think obviously what he's referring to is he looked like an outfield player.
Vasquez did.
Yeah. And
so if that's the only reason he's been brought in, I mean...
Yeah.
I know this is a bit of a moot point now, but something happened with Vasquez. Either attitude or Milan said, no chance he's not playing. It's got to be more to it than he couldn't get back in that team.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah. Unless it was... goalkeeper coach didn't come in straight away, did he? But he came in fairly soon after. Yeah. Maybe it was like, maybe Beadle were already lined up a long time ago, obviously with the links with Brighton, etc., with goalkeeper coach. Yeah. And it would just get a case of, I've heard as well that if we played him for so long, Vasquez, I've heard that rumour, but I don't know
how much is in it, do we? But
if we played so many games, we had to keep him or something, or I've no idea. But I don't know if that's just someone's made shit up as they normally do on social media, but yeah, I don't know.
It's easy to believe, so it's easy to believe, isn't it?
Yeah. Another one of the changes, Bambo Diaby came straight back into the side, obviously after serving his 3-game suspension. Obviously, before the game, it were like, does Icky keep his place? Does Bambo come in? What kind of happens? Both of them happened. Michael Ekwa stayed in the side. Bambo Diaby came in after his 3-game suspension. The question I've got is, why does Danny Röhl insist on playing Bambo Diaby?
To be fair, and I think we'll all, we're going to go on to probably ripping him apart a little bit, but before he got sent off, we were saying he'd turned us around and we were happy with him and he'd had a few good games, so... That's probably why. Yeah. To be honest with you, I
just felt it was just a bit. I don't know. I'm going to say it now. I think Danny Röhl got it wrong with the lineup and with how we set up. In hindsight, I'm saying that because I thought beforehand, obviously I weren't really quite sure. I thought Palmer were playing in the middle. I thought Bernard were going to play right back. I don't know if he's played right back before, but I certainly didn't think Bernard were going to play in the middle. We've
got no issues playing centre halves at left and right back, have we? So
no,
it wouldn't surprise me.
But beforehand, I didn't think Bernard were going to play in centre half, and I look at it thinking, "What hell, we're giving it a go here. We're giving it a right good go against Southampton." And I kind of applauded it really, but. I think in hindsight, looking at it, it was probably a bit naive, and I think we got it a bit wrong. I mean, it could have been so different. We had a chance early on, which we'll come on to, but yeah, I just think it's probably the one game he has, got a bit giddy, a bit excited.
Yeah, I think on the whole, it was probably going to end the same way. Yeah. I mean, you never know, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like. Maybe
not many people were backing us winning against Southampton, were they really?
On an 18-game unbeaten run. Yeah. Like,
I'll be honest, overall, am I that gutted about, what, if we go gung-ho against a team like Southampton, which that lineup suggests we did, I don't think as play suggested we did, but the lineup did, I'd rather that than sit back and still get done 2-0.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were saying, weren't they, on the commentary. I had the Southampton commentary on mine, and they were saying they've come to have a go, the pressing, whatever else. It was like not like the last 2 or 3 teams that have been here. They just sit back and inevitably get beat.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm not saying beforehand. I'll admit I thought it was a
I mean, like you say, I looked at it and I was like, no Momo, which was a bit like And then, like you say, I just assumed Palmer would be playing in centre mid because he's played well there the last 2 games. And then when it didn't set up like that, I was a bit like, why?
Yeah, like what? Why is Bernard playing? We've talked about square pegs in round holes all of last season and the season before, playing players out of position, and sometimes we did it out of necessity. But I didn't feel there was a necessity to do it yesterday. I don't see any.
No, not when Palmer's played well there.
That's
So
what
you just play. If Momo's not, he's not ready to start, but he can come on if needed. You play Palmer there because he's played well there the last 2 games.
Yeah, for me, I'd have played Ihekwe and Bernard, Paul at right back, and Palmer in the middle. Or, like you said,
I think I can kind of see it because obviously the way it played out, they were hitting us on the break and on the counter. And let's be honest, Paul's shit at defending.
Yeah.
He's always fouling, no matter what. Even when it don't get given, he's pretty much fouling everyone.
In that case, put Palmer there and put either Volks or Romo.
Yeah.
Even if they can't do a full 90, just premeditate, they do an half each or whatever. I don't know.
But I was very surprised to see him in that position.
I think in hindsight, this is probably where the numbers doesn't work and you have to use your eyes sometimes. Because when you watch Bernard, he does carry the ball. But I think when you've got the ball at centre half, you've got that time. You can look, you can see everything in front of you. You see a gap because you don't do it every time. Whereas I think when you've got the ball in midfield, when you pick up the ball, bang, they're on you, aren't they? Someone's going to tackle you. Someone's going to come and get you, and you haven't got that time to, nothing. Centre back, everything's in front of you, innit? A bit like goalkeeper as well. When they say they can just see everything, whereas in midfield you've got players coming from behind, and I just felt that. Although when you look at the numbers and the progressive passes and progressive carries is well up there, it's certainly in our squad, but even in against other players as well. Yeah. On paper, it probably looked like the right decision. In practice, it just didn't work.
I think I say on paper, I think it's all just been overthought. Easy for me to say, overthought, because we've not conceded in open play, have we? And yeah, Cardiff, we had quite a few shaky moments, but we've not conceded in open play. And then we've sort of reinvented wheel with this game. And I put a text to your dinner when I saw it line up, and I couldn't believe Bambo were back in it. And I'm not going to be one of these that's like, because, a lot of stuff you see online, it is over the top. And I know I had a few choice words after that first goal, and I think I stuck something in Patreon group and all that. But I'm like, you know what? He's had a fucking stinker. He really has. Gaffer's got it wrong with lineup. If he'd have kept it same and changed anything, do we really think the result would have been that different? Not for me, because I don't think we were ever in that game yesterday. Not for a second. So put it down as a bad day at office. Crap, let's move on to Coventry.
Yeah. In terms of overall force, we've kind of already touched on it a little bit, but I thought the fact that we were only 1-0 down at half time was so frustrating that it come from, yet again, a mistake. And I feel like we don't concede many, I don't say worldies, but like good goals.
Brilliant team goals.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few in this, later on in the game, but certainly the first one, it is a mistake. There's no two ways about it. Like we've almost gifted it to him. And I just, I was sat there thinking, even though we've not felt like we're in the game a great deal, other than the first 5 minutes, I just thought it was disappointing that we were down, like I said, by a mistake. And if it weren't for that, it could have been a lot different. They might have scored it on another occasion, but
yeah, I think psychologically, you've been, let's face it, been under Kosh battered for 45 minutes. If you take that to half time, they go in there thinking, Christ, how are we going to break these down?
Yeah,
but like I say, it's such a, why is he trying to be clever there? It's so annoying. It's just put your foot through it.
I mean, what was your expectation, Liam, going into the game? Like, what were your thoughts? Obviously, we were 3 wins on the trot in all competitions. We'd beat Preston. I think who else we'd beat? We beat Cardiff in the cup.
Hull.
And Hull.
Yeah, I think my head was well predicted 3-1. So to them, but you think you never know.
Yeah,
could scrape a draw, which should have been class, but really I didn't expect to get anything. That team, they've got 18 games unbeaten. They were
scoring goals are fun as well.
Excuse me, going second if they won. It's at their place as well. Do you know what I mean?
They're like worlds apart. You can see why they were in Premier League last season. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. You've got to be realistic about it all, haven't you?
Yeah.
They were in the Prem for however many years, and they've had all this money in for Teller and Ward-Prowse and whoever else, and they've signed some players, and it's.
I think they've sold over £150 million for players. I think in the summer,
and reinvested quite a bit of it as well.
A little bit, not a masses, but it just shows that.
Have we cumulatively done that in our history?
I don't think we have now.
Sure, I don't think we'll have, would we?
No.
Shows
Lucas João weren't that much, would it? But yeah, it just shows the difference, doesn't it? And I think for me, a bit same as you, really. Like, try not to get too carried away, but I was thinking, oh, no, what, we could get something here. But hand on heart, I say this expression a few times, but if you give me a tenner and go, you've got to put it on at one result happening, I'm putting on a Southampton win. Do you know what I mean? Like that, because you just look at where they are in the league and everything. And I think, I saw a few tweets saying that bring us back down to earth. And I think that is true, to be honest, like in terms of getting a bit carried away.
I don't know. I think
it's some fans anyway.
Well, yeah, maybe. I just think, well, whatever, you can think what you want, but if you genuinely thought we were definitely going to win that game, or we had a really good chance of winning that game, then fair enough. But
I think like I said, bringing down. I think like Coventry for next. Where are Coventry now? They're about 8th, 6th.
Bloody hell!
So
they were fucking 17th last time we played them, weren't they? Or 16?
But this is, I think,
on a 8 run at the moment.
That one, we've got them at home next Saturday. If they come and absolutely paste us, then that's coming back down to earth. Because they're up there, but they're not. Like levels
it's not
apart,
just come
like
down from Premier League, you know what I mean?
Exactly that. There's that one. It's not a free hit. Note's a free hit in a relegation scrap. But at the same time, you're like, it'd be an anomaly if we did get a result.
Yeah. I put in Patreon group, I was saying how, and I've said it a few times on Twitter as well, that the season's not won or lost away at St Mary's. And there was one comment saying, when you're down at bottom in every game, important. And I think, it's not saying that the game's not important. It's not like going, I'm just going to toss it off and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You still go out there to try and get a result.
Get what you can, yeah.
But
yeah.
It's when the inevitable happens and you lose that game, you can't come away being too downbeat. And when Danny Real looks at all the fixtures, I'm sure when they're doing their projection and like kind of at where they think they're going to get the points and stuff, they're not putting a 3 next to Southampton away, are they? Do you know what I mean? That's going to be a 0. They're going to go, right, let's just say we don't get any points from there. What we're going to get from rest? Coventry at home next. That's going to be a draw or a win. But Southampton away, we'll put a 0. That's not saying we are definitely going to lose, but that's just like, expectations are. You've got to be realistic. You can't just put a 3 next to every single game and go, I fucking win every single one. It's not to say that they're not going to try either. But and that probably won't be shared with the players or anything like that, saying, Gaffer thinks you're going to lose. Yeah. But in his head, when he's looking and going, right, we can still pick up enough points in the games that are coming up to be all right. We don't need to get too disheartened about going to Southampton and getting beat.
My mate Jack said it yesterday, and I was talking to Phil about it before. If you're looking at this whole picture as a relegation fight, at yesterday's results, Huddersfield failing to beat Plymouth they had at home is much more of an indicator. It's a much worse result than us losing.
Yeah, because they're going to look at that and thinking, Wednesday are probably going to get beat. It's a chance for us to, if we beat Plymouth, we're just going to go to 6 points. It's not like they're winning, fucking hell, Wednesday have won. Like, more often than not, we were going to lose that game. But
that shows you, I think, the more important, bigger picture, if you want to look at it that way. It's a real, like, this is me being level-headed. What's happened?
Change man, you said.
Well, to be fair, I said, I put some words in our group chat, didn't I, before when I saw lineup, so I'm not that changed. I'm changed defending. But now, I mean, it's just, I can't lose my head over that. It's a shit result. Move on. It's Southampton away. Not how many teams have gone there and got a result this season.
Not many.
There we go.
Yeah, well, the fact that they're 18 games unbeaten, 19 games in the league now, 20 in all competition. I think they've set a new record, or certainly in the modern era anyway. I was talking to Southampton fan, and apparently some historian had come out and said that back in 1876, fuck off.
So effectively, yesterday, it was like us in League One when Forest Green turned up at Hillsborough, and they get it a go, and they got digged. But it's just the same thing, lads.
Hey, just on Forest Green, have you seen what Troy Dean has come out and said? Have you seen
I don't think.
No, I've not seen it.
Oh, basically.
You think we chuck players under bus?
Yeah. They're chucking players under bus and then they're doing what Troy Deeney's just done. Christ on a bike.
He's gone to bus depot.
Yeah, he's just called them out. He's just said that they're all crap. He even said, 28-year-old midfielder, supposed to be a seasoned pro, one that people look up to, late for training. What's all that about? This is just a reporter. And even on actual official Forest Green as well. He doesn't hold back on that one either. Like, he really, really goes for it.
Kid who missed penalty for Coventry last season in playoff final. He basically said to him, "You were one kick." Like I said it to his face. He said, "You were one kick away from Premier League, and now you won't get a kick in National League." Like, fucking hell.
Yeah, honestly, he's absolutely laid into him. Nah, I don't know what I feel about that either. Like,
nah, it's dickhead move.
He's honest, and he probably is being on it. Like, he's telling him how it is. He said that he was going to train without any balls. He's going to do some running.
But you know what? Be as honest and brutal.
Just reminded that Matt Bassett. Yeah. Paul's not saying back at Opal.
But to me, be as harsh and brutal as you want with players, but as soon as you start chucking them under bus in press, writing's on wall, innit?
Yeah, you can show you.
I can't believe I've not seen this.
You can show your disdain for players and stuff in a way that comes across as quite professional. I just think he's just.
Well, he's inexperienced, isn't he? He's probably talking more as you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Than he is a manager.
I bet Forest Green are like, oh, fucking hell. Like, just what is he doing? Please stop. Honestly, there's one of reporters, and he's like live tweeting it as it's happening, or he's like just put the transcript out on Twitter as a series of tweets, and you're reading them, and they're just getting better and better every single one. You're like, is it going to stop?
This can't be real.
Yeah. I had to check his Twitter account at first, thinking, is this like a parody or something? But then there's an actual video that Forest Green have put up as well, so you can watch it. And weren't Troy Deeney linked with Wednesday job at some point or something?
I think we were on about getting him in as a trial.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, you were. Yeah, under Cisco. Christ on a bike. Imagine if that had happened. Dearing me. Anyway, I forgot what we were talking about. Let's talk about some of the chances, shall we? There's 4 goals in this. I mean, we had a chance from the gun, didn't we? In terms of, closing down and everything, we closed their keeper down, and I thought at that point, I was like, yeah, we're giving it a real good go here. This looks good. They're going to put them under Kosh. I think their keeper, Bazunu, obviously he were at Portsmouth, weren't he, a couple of seasons ago. Then he went to them in the Prem. Man City, yeah.
But that went down well down there.
Yeah. He apparently has got a mistake in him, and he likes to fuck about with ball at back. And I thought, once we closed him down and we put him under pressure, and I think it nearly fell to Cadamarchi, didn't it? And then it ended up going out for a corner eventually. I thought, yeah, we're on it. And didn't we get that's the Cadamarchi header came from that resulting corner, I think. And we only played like 2 minutes or something. And I thought, Christ, like,
here we go.
Southampton were probably thinking, fans were like, no, what's happening here? We're not used to this. And, you could say Cadamarchi could do a little bit better with the header just because a bit wide. But I thought, certainly for the first couple of minutes, I was like, yeah, let's give it a good go. But after that, we didn't really have many chances, did we, to be honest, in that first half?
We were just struggling for an out at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there were one point where Cadamarchi broke down right, or a better placed pass. It might have been Masaba even. Better placed pass, and we could have been in. But they were just
we were trying to go get him behind, weren't we? Yeah. Windasser offside every time.
It was clever, aren't they? Like, they know what they're doing.
They played a high line, didn't they? And then we were trying. And I think, obviously, for the time one of them runs, we might have been all right, but then it just never seemed to open up again, did it? That's
the thing, isn't it? When you've got Masaba, Gassama, Cadamarchi, Windass, which on the face of it, good attacking lineup, we didn't utilise them at all. Or just couldn't get in behind, and found it difficult. And I think at the moment, obviously, we're looking to Cadamarchi for all his goals, or certainly looking to him and going, come on, where the goal's going to come from. Obviously, he's got, 3, 4 so far this season. I think it's 3 in it that is bagged.
Yeah. think.
But I just think these certain games that just don't suit him. And I think that game against Southampton, when the possession is going to be less than 50, I just, so when we play Leicester as well, we play them in a couple of weeks. I just don't think playing Cadamarteri is going to be the one. I mean, look, if you get a chance and it comes to him, you've seen all his goals have been first time goals, so he's clinical in that respect. But I just think, you said about having an out. It almost, a game like that yesterday, we're crying out for like a Lee Gregory, where you can hit it up to him and it just sticks to him like shit to paper, doesn't it?
Linking someone else.
And then he can bring someone else in. That's when you have your runners out wide and he can hold it up, play it back to a Bannon or a Volks, and then he can ping a pass from the halfway line rather than having to ping them from, edge of your box, because you're penned in all the time, and it just makes it easy. So I just think, maybe, obviously we're in January transfer window, maybe that's the type of striker he's looking for, because we're not good enough at the moment to dominate possession against a good side, and I think Cadamarteri just works well. We always compare people to Haaland. He's not up there, but in terms of, he doesn't need to do a great deal. He doesn't need to. I mean, if he can improve his link-up play, then that'd be great. But at the moment, he hasn't really got that. He needs to get the ball edge of box, 6-yard box. And yesterday,
he'll run himself into ground and he'll work his arse off for you, but he's not going to be one to spray a pass and
he's going to create a goal for himself, and that's no slight on him at all. That's just where he is at the moment in his career, and I'm sure
it'll come because he's building and building, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're working on that and stuff, and I'm sure they'll look at things that, what can we build on. Where he shines is picking the ball up 6 yards out or 12 yards out and bang, hitting it first time, and that clinicalness kind of thing. So I just think that there's certain games where we perhaps might not see Cadamarteri starting, and it's just because it's just better suited to someone else, and fingers crossed we bring that striker in.
I don't know someone else.
Yeah, I mean, that Ugbo, I don't think he's a out and out target man. I think when we spoke to the Cardiff fan, he weren't saying that. He likes to play off someone. And I can't see him playing off Cadamarteri really, but we'll have to see. The goal came after 35 minutes. Shea Adams, it had to be him, didn't it? Really, just scored against us at home. Obviously, former down there.
See, unless everyone points it out, I wouldn't even know that he played for them. I just remember him because I signed him on like FIFA 21, and he was fucking class.
But Bambo's tried to control it, hasn't he?
But why Bambo? What possessed you?
What's with, right? We've started doing it, which we haven't been doing, I don't think. But like the goal, like Palmer's goal, what's with this nudging it out to the edge of your own area when you're defending in your own box?
Yeah.
Loads of teams doing it now. We hadn't been doing it because we've been praising Bambo for kicking it out, saying it was a heckler. But it looked like we were trying to do it there. Is it to try and retain the ball and hopefully one of your players is there? What the fuck's it all about?
Yeah.
It's fucking awful. That's what he was trying to do. Yeah. He wasn't trying. I don't think he was trying to control it. I think he was trying to just push it out, which we then did a number of times afterwards.
Just fucking
just get rid. When you need to get rid, just get rid. It's
about decision making, isn't it? Really, and it's just. You get a decision wrong like that, and against the Southampton side, you're just going to get punished, aren't you?
Well, Liam says, I think for me, we're a cross between, like I say, a little nudge out / control. Caught in two minds, and it's fucking awful. And you're just like, look, if we can get this to half time, just belt it up. It's a big old ground, Southampton. Belt it over there into sea. Well, it were really poor.
And then he's going to be, you drop ball on his fucking, in front of him there, he's going to score.
Palmer's Predators didn't help him either. He slipped in it and kind of.
I don't think
it to him
after that. Like you said, get it to him in box. He's only one result in there.
Yeah. Clinical finisher, isn't it, really? And like I said at the top, it just frustrated more than anything that they had multiple chances, a bit like us. That final pass just weren't there. There were a lot of times where they got in behind. I mean, they were getting down both wings, like for fun, especially
Fraser.
Yeah, was he down? Was he playing on left
side?
Yeah, it was.
Well, he's a brilliant player, isn't he?
Yeah. It would go down there for fun, weren't it? Just every single time. And I think we were defending quite narrow, weren't we, for some reason? And just
to be fair, for a lot of it, Palmer did quite well because he did stand him up. Fair enough, they got a lot of corners out of it, but not came from him, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were narrow, weren't we? Every time we were on edge of the 18-yard box, Palmer, weren't he, rather than...
Yeah. Obviously, that was an instruction. For whatever reason, I'm not a coach. So I don't really know why they were doing that. But yeah, they had lots of joy down, especially that left, like you said. But I think down the right, they were clear of instruction for them to get crosses in. I think one of their players, I think might have been him, had 11 or 12 crosses. Absolutely mental. I think all their goals came from coming from, cutting in, didn't they, really? They didn't run down the middle. They had another chance, didn't they, straight after Dawson pulled off one of his few saves that he made all game, and that were from a tight angle, weren't it?
Yeah, Walker Peters, weren't it, on the right side?
Yeah, smashed it, and I have to admit, when he hit it, I thought,
goal
2-0.
Yeah.
So it was a good reaction save to get down where he did.
I've got to say, fair play to him, because we all know he's not best on his near side, usually.
Yeah.
But he did do well there, and it took everyone by surprise. I think we were still scratching his heads from goal.
Yeah, because it came pretty much straight after. I thought, fucking hell, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Regroup, just, get to half time. And I did think, if we get to half time at 1-0, make a few changes, and, we might be able to get a bit of a foothold into the game. That was probably wishful thinking on my behalf. Obviously, we made some changes, didn't we, at half-time? Cadamartri came off, Fletcher came on, Masaba came off as well. I can't remember who replaced. Volks that came on for Masaba. He had a tough game, didn't he, Masaba, to be fair? I think I tweeted it. He touched ball 10 times in that first half, which is the least out of everyone on that pitch. It just didn't really get going, did it, for him, Masaba, really? And I'll be perfectly honest, that wouldn't have been the change that I would have made. If we'd have kept the same shape, I'd have took Bambo off. I'd have put either Volks or Momo on in midfield and put Bernard back at centre-back with Ehekwe, if I'm being perfectly honest. I would have took Cadamartri off as well. Like, he's weren't working for him either. I'd have put, he's only got really Fletcher, haven't you? Or Smith. I thought Smith might have come on at half-time just to give us that out and a bit more presence up top. But, he made 2 changes. He's not afraid to make changes, is he, Danny? At half time, which, do you think that's a good thing, Lewis? Like that, a lot of managers wait, don't they, to 60 minutes and see what happens after half time, but sometimes it's a bit too late.
When it's that obvious it's not working, which it clearly weren't, plan B.
Yeah.
I ain't got a problem if it's after 30 minutes.
Yeah.
If it was so obviously not working, we tried something else. That didn't work either. But
I like it. No issue with it at all. He's done it loads, and he's took Byers off at half time quite a few times. Put Johnson on, and
I think with that, like you said, we're taking Byers off. I think with Masaba, it wasn't necessarily his fault. We couldn't get ball up to him. And I think Byers, when he was going off, he was sacrificial lamb, even though he wasn't playing that bad, but he just needed to change that system. And sometimes we've both been sat there going, what the bleeding hell's he doing here? And it's worked.
Yeah.
So what do we know?
Yeah, exactly. We had a chance with a free kick, but before that they made it 2-0. No, they didn't. So we had a chance with Fletcher, didn't we? Straight after half time.
That one from outside the box.
Yeah. Do you know what? At the time I thought, ooh, what a shot that was. I've watched it back and I think keeper probably could have done a little bit better with it, to be fair. But straight after half time, I thought, oh yeah, a bit like the first half, a bit of intent. We actually got the ball in their half, which I looked at possession, 29% we had all game, which is the least we've had under Danny Röhl. It's not the least all season. I think West Brom was the least that we had out of any game. I think I might be getting that wrong, but. I think Southampton first game of the season
could have been any game.
Well, yeah, insert any of the 10 that we played. But yeah, like I thought, bit of intent. Fletcher had made the keeper work for starters, which were decent. Then Armstrong scored for them on 63 minutes, and it were annoying really because we were pushing men forward, weren't we? We were creating, creating a few chances and actually like getting the ball in their half and we looked a lot better than we did in the first half. And
who were it who played ball?
Someone lost. One of our players lost
it out, didn't we?
One of our players lost the ball just in their half, didn't they? Is that the right goal?
I think so. Yeah.
Were it Bambo?
And they just broke, didn't they? And it was it looked like 4-on-1. Do you know what? There were times in that game where
everyone seems to go right and then knocked it across to him, didn't they?
Yeah.
And everyone got drawn over there and the fucking no one on Armstrong.
Yeah, and just squared it across to him, didn't they? Really, which
and again. No one on him, and he's in penalty area, top scorer in the league.
This is the one where Bernard nearly gets it on the line, don't he? Which I know he did get one.
Yeah, he did. I mean, I think it might have been Bernard who's lost it in middle, and he's done well to get back, and it's unlucky. But when they can break that quick, and you're playing as high a line as you are, it's only one result really.
It was just annoying, weren't it? Because at that point you're thinking, come on, we're only a goal behind, push your men forward. And fair play for having a go. Like, we could have easily just
sat back and tried to not.
Yeah, but we've had a go, and like I said, is it a bit naive? I don't know, but we got punished in the end with that one, and just an absolute sucker punch, really, because at that point, 1-0, it was going to be really difficult to get anything out of it. At 2-0, I'm thinking, it's all but over here, And we had a chance with a free kick,
straight at keeper.
He's done well to get it out wall, but like I said, keeper's not had to move much as a.
I saw a few comments about Windass. Obviously, there's been rumours that he's been linked with a move to the MLS. Obviously, he won't be going now because it's that pre-contract thing. His contract's up in the summer, which means he can sign for another club overseas, and he would then go in the summer. And we can't do anything about it. Obviously, if it's a club in England, they have to wait until the contract actually expires to be able to do that officially anyway.
Can you do it with Europe as well, I think?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can do it with Scotland. With English clubs, you can't. You have to wait until they expire the contract. So there's the rumours that a couple of American clubs are looking at him or sniffing around. I saw a few comments saying he's already on Miami Beach, which I thought were a bit harsh.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think he did a great deal, but what is he supposed to do?
No one else did a great deal either, and fair enough, he maybe didn't play as well as what he has done, but it's not a game we've been in where he's been able to do what he does. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do
you think? Because he had a chance where Gassama played it across to him, but fucking hit it with some pace at him, didn't he? Really, and it were a bit of a difficult height. That was one where he banged his knees in frustration when he kind of put it wide. I thought that was a tough chance. And then they had the other one anyway we broke. And to be fair, Fletcher passed it to Bannon, and it should have gone to Windass with space on the left. It eventually comes to him, via Bannon playing it across, and it was just a bit high, and he kind of like looped it, didn't he? And
what's it said to you then? Like, we've had this crap game, and everything that we have created in front of goal he's been involved in.
Yeah.
So, I don't hear all bad said about Windass. He had a dodgy start to the season. Everything he's done last month or so has been great. If he has signed a pre-contract agreement, I think he'd be mad not to be honest. I mean, if you give an option, right, you can say, right,
bear in mind he's 30 as well.
Yeah, he's 30-year-old. And you go, right, you've got a 50-50 of being in Championship or League One again. And last time went to League One, he took a pay cut to stay at club. Or that can probably go and get better money, better quality of life, and he got like his girlfriend or something, is American.
I think so, yeah.
And go and live out, like I say, on Miami Beach or wherever it might be. I'd tell you where I'd be signing. But I don't think you're going to get any drop in his performance. Yeah. That's not in his DNA. He's always going to give you 100%, and just get off lads' back.
I was just about to ask that, like, as a player, obviously we don't know because we're not footballers, but do you think that'd happen? Like, do you think if these rumours are you going elsewhere? Because we're not saying that he's like neshed a tackle or anything like that. He was still putting the effort in. Do you think that'd bother you if you've got another club interested in you? For me, I think that'd probably it spur me on more. I
think there's definitely some. Look at some at Pisteca's last time we got relegated. Look at your Stephen Fletcher's, Adam Reach's, Morgan Fox's, who all just fucked us off, didn't they, as soon as they could. Right? There are certain players that would. I don't think he would.
No, and I think from what he's done at the club as well, and like Lewis said, he stayed when we went down.
Yeah.
You know, he was a big part last season. You know, he's not like it's not like he's been here for a year, is it, or two, and just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot more, you know, and I've not always been his biggest fan. I've questioned him at times, but I wouldn't question that about him.
Do you know what? I think the whole non-celebrating thing, people can't get that out of there.
I don't know. I think that contributes to a lot of other things.
I think that other people's comments, I think, do you know, like with certain people, certain fans, they have something in their head, and then no matter what, they can't ever get rid of it.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
not like Wednesday fans to be stubborn, James.
What's that saying? The hill that they die on. Do you know what I mean? It's like something will change.
Don't get me wrong, I didn't like it, but now he's done it all the time, so it's like, well, it's just what he does.
No, but what I mean, I think people, all that sort of stuff, people give them that lazy tag, and I just don't think he is that type.
No, he's not. He's not, and you can tell. Like, you watch him against like a couple of last few games, he runs. He's not a. There might have been some games and in some positions you don't see him as much, but this position where he's been playing for role, he's massive. He's massively influential in the games normally, and I wouldn't call him lazy. He's not a, you know, from what I've seen from Wilt so far and what I saw for him when he was at Hull, not saying he's lazy, but he is one of them players that pops up and it just happens.
Yeah.
You necessarily might not notice him for so much of the game, but then he'll just do something.
Yeah.
And he's that kind of player. But Windass hasn't been, maybe at points he has been, but not this season or the last however many games he's played. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. They made it 3-0 on 75 minutes. This is one where it's out on the right hand side. He's stood Bernard up. He's done a couple of step overs, you know, left, right.
Oh,
then
Fraser wearing it in.
Yeah, gets half a yard, squared it, and so much space.
Again, no one's on the man.
It were Bambo marking him because he stood still and then it's like he remembered he could move his legs. Yeah. And he just reacts so slow after. It's like, oh shit, he's going to get a shot off here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's poor all round, innit? Let's face it. Cross shouldn't be coming in my opinion.
I think that's a massive thing. We didn't stop the cross.
Yeah, but Dishon on that, and again, love Dishon to bits. But
was that the one where he's trying to stand him up and he's played it kind of backwards across the box, or was that?
That's the.
Is that the last one?
That's the last goal.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm getting confused there.
When Bannon comes over to help, yeah. But this one, no, it's the one where, like I said, squares it, and it again, nobody picking anyone up at the back stick. It's either.
My note's not very good on this. I've just put
shit defended.
No one anywhere near the man again.
Yeah. I've seen a few people say Dawson should do a little bit better. The ball goes in kind of middle at goal. Should he have done a bit better, Lewis? So
I mean, I am a change man, aren't I? Because this is 2 weeks in a row I'm going to be defending Dawson. But I don't think Dawson does out wrong for any at goals. You know, people, you could do better, but they're all point blank. They're all crap defending. They're all, and this is me that slated him through most of the season. I think
all their goals have come inside 18-yard box, haven't they?
What's he supposed to do? What, you know, you might say a better keeper might save one of them. So what? It's 3-0 then. it's very harsh to look at that defending and put it on Dawson, in my opinion.
Yeah,
agreed.
It's one of them goalkeepers' last line of defence, in it. These 10 other players on pitch that could potentially do something.
I know we've said that when we've lost odd game 1-0 and he's had a stinker, he's got down slow to it or whatever, but come on. When I'm sticking up for him 2 weeks in a row, leave Dawson alone.
Yeah, you best get that I'm a changed man t-shirt so quickly. If you don't, I will.
We've got it on under it. On that Beaverson button.
Fourth goal. I mean, game he's over and done with at this point. It was kind of damage limitation, but I think I tweeted the 21 goals that they've scored in the last 6 at St Mary's. They've only conceded 1 goal in them last 6 as well. So in scintillating form and kind of just put icing on the cake. I suppose one thing they didn't stop, did they? Southampton really just kept going, and we're trying to play out from the back. We get caught in possession, and like you got 2 goals mixed up, but it's a simple pass round the corner. They play it back. Bannon gets drawn in. The man runs off Bannon. He's in. He's not offside either. You know, when you look at it, I think it is Bambo that's playing him onside. He puts his hand up and then it's just squared it again. The kind of ultimate FIFA goals, these aren't they? The ones where you get alongside and what do they call it? Noob goal. Where you just square it and pass it into empty net.
Getting a bit too down with kids for me, this. I don't know. I know I said I played FIFA 21 of that.
But yeah, just slide it home and not really much to say about that. It was just 4-0, just looks like you've got absolutely battered. And
to be fair, we have.
Yeah.
And it's been sharp defending all around. And, you know, I know we're going to pick him out in a bit, but Bambo in particular has had a mare. I said last week I didn't want him coming back in starting lineup. I don't think it's all down on him though.
I told you so.
I think no, it's not me. I told you so.
No,
I didn't want him back in.
Joking.
I think he's been crucified a bit too much. I think they've all just had
they've all had a stinker.
A shocker. But having said that, I mean, you look at that 4th goal in particular. I think they're just better than us.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it sounds stupid to say, and you've got to be at race and all that, but when they're that much better than us, and we're already up against, you know. Done it.
That game just saw the golfing class. I think, you know, we came up against Hull and we were the better side even before the red card. You know, obviously Cardiff are not a much deal better than us. There's teams that we were really competitive against, and
good teams as well, but just not that good.
But you look at that the likes of Southampton and even and Leicester. I mean, they're just fanning around with ball too much, in my opinion. When we drew in 1-1 and they didn't put us to the sword, and if they did, you know, they could have easily got
those 3
2 or 3 goals.
The 3 that came down, Southampton, Leicester, Leeds.
Yeah. It's just, the people said beforehand, didn't they, that the Championship is probably one of the strongest championships that there's been. You know, the 2 clubs, 2 of the 3 clubs that have come up, Ipswich and us, big. All right, I know we're down near the bottom, but biggish club.
If you say what Leeds, the least established from it, like they spent the least time, but they've been in there a while.
Yeah,
none of them were.
Yeah, no Lutons, were they?
There were no yo-yos, were there?
No,
they were literally.
Yeah, you know, it's like your West Broms, your Norwiches, and stuff like that. They just go up, down. Yeah, they're all teams that have been there for
a bit,
for a while, haven't they? So yeah, it's we all kind of expected a defeat, really, and that's how it were. And I think some of the tweets that I've seen, some of the comments from certain people, I just think, you know, it weren't a great performance, but let's judge it on next 2 or 3 games. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Losing as Edzo, that, I mean, I was quite happy yesterday because, like I said, I picked my car up from Cleethorpes, and I was driving home and I didn't look at any reaction on my phone at all. Normally, after win, lose, I'm going on, I'm looking at tweets, I'm laughing at someone like it, and I'm just like, let's just draw a line under that.
You know what? I didn't look at anything afterwards yesterday.
Yeah, I'd even look at other results. I only knew that Huddersfield had drawn because my mate put it in one of group chats. Yeah, just like, switch off from football. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thankful. Well, they got
just get Gladiators on. That come back yesterday, didn't it?
Oh, did it?
Yeah, that was one where fucking right tangent. Yeah,
we filmed at Arena, weren't it?
Yeah, we filmed at Arena, and I put half day in to take like Mrs. and kids and that, and Sheffield Arena, top notch organisation. I think because they get tickets out. But then they'd oversold it. So there were just thousands of kids and families in half term all crying, no queuing order. And they were like, it's sold. And we just get it up as a bad job and went to watch Little Mermaid at Pictures.
Yeah.
But it looked good on telly though last night.
I did watch that yesterday. It's changed, hasn't it? Where's Wolf?
He's probably about 60-year-old.
No, but they were all like saying, want to do and fuck that. They want to be angry. And that's what they're all about.
They need to give it a bit
of needle. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need a Vinnie Jones in there, like, you know, Roy Keane.
You've got to play the heel, haven't you? You've got to play the bad guy. I only saw bits in it yesterday.
He's shaking hands. What are you shaking hands for? You just twatted around in a bit with Cotton Bud 5 minutes ago.
Cotton bud.
Swanston round head with a cotton bud.
Oh, I need to watch that. I missed that.
I can sell them t-shirts outside Sheffield Arena when they record next year. Swatting round head with a cotton bud. 2 for a £5.
It wouldn't be a £5 outside the arena. £50 out there.
Yeah.
Knock off ones outside.
Hey, I did that. Disney on Ice. She's like, this, there's some blokes outside and they've got all them ones that light up. And you're like, I think I've told this story before, but she's like, I want one, Daddy. And I'm like, thinking, we'll get one now. Because if inside, they cost a fortune. And rightly so, inside, they did cost a fortune. That £25. Outside, 20. Yeah. Do you know what? She's using that every single time we go. I'm making sure that she takes it.
That's on a wedding day, that.
You got this when you were 6. But no, I'm back to gladiating. Look, they need to have a bit of venom in there. Not this shaking hands and stuff.
What are you there? Bloke, referee, whatever he was.
He'd be fucking about 96. Him. Do you know what referee was? Mark Clattenburg.
I'm not going to watch it.
Honestly,
it were.
100%. But do you know,
that makes it sound shit, doesn't it?
It does make it sound, yeah.
Do you know the end where they have that travelator?
Yeah.
Now, this kid had 3 goes and they 100% turned it down. As in, like, to make sure he could do it. Good bloke, I think he pulled his hamstring, he said after. And he ran up it 3rd time, slower than he'd done previous 2, and he managed to get to the top. I'm like, no, leave him at bottom. He can't do it.
Hey,
what's all this like?
You know, at the beginning when we were talking about us running and commitments, next season, gladiators.
Fuck that. Do you know them rings when they swing? Look, that I can't even do him at park.
Come get on first one.
I can reach 4 now, I know.
Dun. Another one bites the dust.
Foam fingers. Oh dear.
I wish we'd have got ticket. Oh, I'm glad I didn't.
Well, I did get tickets. Yeah. Didn't make a difference.
I wish you'd not.
I always wanted to go with you, when I was younger. Like,
it used to be class, isn't it? Like when you used to watch it, but it's changed.
I'm going to have to get a watch on her.
Yeah. Well, you said you weren't because Clattenburg was
referee. I know, well.
We should have talked about that full episode rather than this shite.
Liam, watch Gladiators from last night.
Put it on, watch along. Right, league table, 4 points the gap.
Could be worse. I think that's the best result we could have, really.
Yeah, you're right. QPR lost today as well. Obviously, recording this on Sunday night, so they're still a point behind us. Rotherham also lost. They're 4 points behind us. Birmingham drew, so they're now 7 points ahead. Plymouth obviously drew to Huddersfield. They're 8 points ahead of us. So, yeah, I mean Blackburn, they have dropped like a stone. They've 4 defeats on the spin. Not winning. Well, I can see the last 6. They've certainly not winning the last 6 games. They're getting dragged into it.
I think.
Who's that?
Go on. Laddo, who scored against us. Yeah,
Sammy Smodics, yeah. Good. one man band. But yeah, they're 10 points ahead of us, and
it serves him right. That I don't even know how I got injured, but it serves him right.
Well, for shushing.
Well, for everything. The smarmy little prick.
Lewis is back.
Hey, just
not a fucking change, man.
Just on that, I tweeted the other day to give people to give us your top 5 clubs that you hate. And that is the topic for extra time. So if you want to listen to that, head over to patreon.com.
Got more than 5.
Yeah, it's been tough shortlisting them. There might be some honourable mentions.
My number 5 is about joint with about 8 clubs.
But yeah, if you want to listen to that, head over to patreon.com/WTIDPod and sign up to the 7-day free trial and you'll be able to listen to that episode, which we will be recording straight after this one. Let's read some of these 3-word match reviews out then. Actually, it's just popped up. Have you seen that throw-in? Is it a League 2 game? That kid just take a throw-in, ball slips out of his hand, goes straight to their player. They run through and score a goal as well. Like the worst throw-in that you could ever possibly have. Anyway, that's going on a bit of a tangent there. Right, let's read some of these 3-word match reviews out then. Ben, poor, full stop. Thomas, Bambo, useless Diaby. Steve Turner says no point overreacting. Ben Robertson, different class Saints. Corey, do not panic. Do you know what? It's weird, isn't it? Other games has been a defeat, an absolute meltdown. I know I mentioned certain people getting a bit, irate about it and stuff like that, but some of these comments it's quite refreshing to see that we've lost a game and there hasn't been an absolute meltdown, if you know what I mean, even if it's a few. There has been from a few. Stephen says, poor team selection. Riley said, needed Plymouth win. I disagree on that one. You want as many teams down there as possible.
Get them all in.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if Plymouth win, they go 3 points ahead of, 3 points further away from us. As it stands, they're only a point ahead of us. I know we only need to beat one team, but then you're relying on Huddersfield not picking up any form, if you know what I mean. And Darren Moore could be on his last.
Well, this is the thing with Darren Moore's situation, and we all got a soft spot for Darren Moore and whatnot. But he's having a mare of time there, and you think, well, if they do sack him, which looking at his results wouldn't be out of question, they might get a bounce. They might, leave a minute, let him prolong their execution, if you like. And I think he'll keep them up personally, but. Like I say, get as many teams in there, drag Plymouth into it, drag Birmingham into it, get them all on. Take it to the last game of the season where 8 teams can go down.
Yeah. David Arpin, we lack quality. Chris Brook, no more Diarby. Penny has said necessary reality check. Joel Skellens put Bambo a footballer, and then loads of laughing emojis after that. Nathan's put Bernard central midfield, and then the little shocked emoji. Yeah, I must admit, I don't think he'll be playing in centre mid in many other games this season. Carl Snee, too much respect. No, I don't really agree on that one, in too much respect, because I think they just earned the respect. If they just made it look like we're giving them too much respect.
They were just good. They were a good team.
I don't think we set up to sit off them.
If we park the bus, that's showing them. I think we showed them too much respect in the first game of the season.
Yeah.
But I don't think we did that. I thought we tried to give it a go. We just weren't good enough in comparison. A couple more. David Greaves fully expected that. And then Peter Woodward said 2 words, parachute payments. Yeah. I have to agree their budget is just head and shoulders. Well, it's not even head and shoulders above. It's just in a different world, different chasm. But yeah, individual player performances. I have picked out Cameron Dawson to talk about. I know he said that none of the goals were his fault, but in terms of kind of his distribution,
we've always known that, won't we?
Yeah, and I think that there were a lot of times where he just kicked the ball out of touch on quite a few occasions, and I'm just thinking, like what lad said earlier, is that why the new lads come in? Is it to kind of retain possession a little bit more? Is it to, because when you're up against a team like that, you just want him to pick someone out, just start something off, and when you're giving the ball away, as cheaply like that, I don't know. It's been an issue for a while, and I don't think yesterday were any worse or better than it has been for all other times we've gone on about it. Yeah.
With regards to bringing other keeper in, is he cup tied? Do we know?
He probably will be, yeah. I presume
I'm going to say FA Cup could have been a perfect time to bed him. Whether he makes the chop next week, we don't know. I mean, I think he'll get in at some point this month.
Yeah.
It's just a question of when. I don't think Dawson's been particularly bad last couple of games, right? Since before Preston. But obviously, like you say, I think distribution-wise and his passing's crap, and if we are looking in that other direction and this kid's better, then why not give it a go?
Yeah. Before we talk about the next match in Coventry, in terms of the 2 new signings we've made, we've mentioned Beadle already. I don't think we've really talked about it, have we, on the pod? What's your thoughts, Liam, on bringing him in? Obviously, he's only 19 years old, and he's a young lad doing great things at Oxford. Oxford fans speak quite highly of him. I mean, I know I put a tweet out with his highlights reel, and people said, well, of course he's going to look good. That's his highlights reel. And I get that, but it's a bit, some of the saves he's been making.
Yeah, and it's one of them, innit? We've got, Dawson's all right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, not the best keeper in the world. Otherwise, again, as we always say, he won't be at Wednesday. But he's got some strong points. He's got some shit points. Do you know what I mean?
Are you excited to see what he can do?
Yeah, definitely. Because, there's always that thing of, oh, bloody young keepers. Look what happened with Peacock. But then we're moaning that we didn't have that Bazuna when he whatever, or the other young keepers that come good. And
Trafford is another one.
So, yeah, mate, it's, and the fact that he's been recalled from a place where he's been playing every week for him to be sent here, then, yeah, I'm excited to see him.
Yeah. And as well, a loan from a Premier League club. I know we've had loans from Premier League clubs in the past that haven't really worked out and stuff, but the fact that, the likes of Brighton are willing to let their goalkeeper come to us as well, that shows something that, that draw that we've got, and fingers crossed, we have more decent links with some other players. I mean, obviously we've signed another one, Ike Ugbo from Troyes, I think is how you pronounce it, the French side. Obviously he was on loan at Cardiff. What did you think to that one, Lewis? We all thought it were going to be Connor Coventry that were going to come in. He obviously fucked off to Charlton instead. But yeah, we signed this one.
Cardiff don't rate him too highly. But then you look at his record. Didn't he play with Masaba in?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And them two seem to have a good link up. And I think we play a completely different style to. I haven't been to all Cardiff games, but I've seen all Cardiff games. I went to home and away, and I missed cup game. But I think he's probably one of them. If he used the right system, I'm making that Jordan Rhodes excuse now, aren't I? If he was in the right system, I think there's got to be something about him. Let's say I'm not going to pin all his hopes on him. But
is it a case? I've seen a lot of people saying it. Trusting Danny Rowe.
That's it. It's got to be trusting Danny Rowe, because as a fan base, and I'm guilty of it myself as well. Like we were talking about, highlights video. Some of the players we signed in pre-season who look great on the little packages that's put together on YouTube, and then we spent first 4 months going, no, he's crap, he's not good enough. I'm going to go on managers, because I'm assuming this is a Danny Rowe signing. I'm going to go on his recommendation. I'll trust in his process, and if he comes good, fantastic. I
think the other thing as well is I think I've talked about manage expectations in terms of the performances. I think we've got to manage expectations in what we're going to get out of this transfer window as well. Obviously, we've signed 2 already, a goalkeeper, a forward. He's not an out-and-out striker. I still think we're needing someone in that area. But in terms of the type of player that we're going to get, we're not going to be spending 3, 4, 5 million on whoever it may be. I think we are still shopping in frees and loans market. So we've got to realise that in January, you don't get your top players in January. All the players you get in January are out of favour, or they've been injured and they're coming back and they can't get into the side.
Yeah, but you've got to think as well, it's a loan. Like, unless you're somehow like one of these big clubs that manages to get someone on loan from, you know what I mean? Like Sancho's gone back to Dortmund on loan.
Yeah.
What was Kenwyne Jones's record before he came to Wednesday?
Yeah.
What was it's a loan. How many are actually good? How many work out all right?
Yeah.
How many are shit? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
What were we singing and shouting about Kenwyne Jones when we got him? No, we were shouting about him after we had him, and I know it was only emergency loan and it was how many games, but I mean, it looked. I just had a quick look then. That's what I was looking at, and I can't see it exactly because his Southampton career went on after. Obviously, he'd gone back, but 19 in 71 for Southampton.
Yeah,
and that's obviously then after. But what was it before he came to us? Probably shit. You get what I'm saying?
That's why he's come to us. So.
And how many players work well under certain managers, or will have a good spell and then not, and then go back to being shit. Or,
look at, you mentioned him, Jordan Rhodes. Look at him. He's prolific in Championship.
Not at Football League's all-time leading goal
scorers. Comes to us. Can't account.
Well, he was on his way down, weren't he?
But
I know what you're saying, but
But when you sign him, you think, fucking hell, what a signing.
He could have just had a shit club bumping red.
And then all of a sudden, it didn't. So the point I'm trying to make is just because you sign someone that's scoring goals now, doesn't necessarily mean
exactly.
you're going to carry on scoring the goals, and vice versa. All right, everyone's going to say, well, Fletcher weren't scoring before, and he's still isn't scoring now. And again, but these teams don't, not everyone. I know it's football and the game is football, but it's played in so many different ways and there's so many different factors that a player might not work out at one team. Don't mean he's necessarily a shit player.
You've got to see him at least play once for us.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look at Malik Wilkes. Banging him in for Hull. Didn't work out in Championship, and it's not really worked out in Championship.
Well, it's not worked out for him with us because he's not been fit, but
he might go on to a League 2, League 1 team. He's
he'll probably get back to League 1 and absolutely smash it after he left us.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, like you said though, I think this transfer window, and I don't want to get too down or too up on Oat really, because I trust in Danny Rill. I'm sure. I think he's got a bit more free rein than what there's been there in the past with regards to transfers. I hope there is anyway, because obviously he's got all his team in and whatnot, and temper expectations in that we know Chansiri is skint, and we know that he wasn't going to spend out, and we know a lot of things about that man, but we're not going to go down that route because I'm trying to stay healthy and I don't want to go beetroot purple when I start talking about him. But this is what I'm not getting too upset about it, because let's say who realistically thought we were going to be spending millions and millions this transfer window? Yeah, we ain't got it. Yeah, so let's just hope. And I know hope is not a strategy, but let's hope beyond hope that some of these ones that we are plucking from mid-obscurity for, I'm guessing, not much in terms of transfer fees, wages, come good. And if I've got to pick any manager to be picking them players, I'd have Danny Rell doing it. Well, he spoke, didn't he, in the pre-match press conference that he's been in, I forget his name, the head of recruitment, but he's been in and out of his office. He says, pretty much all day, every day. He says he spent more time in his office than he has in his own kind of thing. So they're obviously working on something, trying to get these deals in. Some obviously don't come off. Connor Coventry being one of them. Connor Coventry one's a prime example of everyone losing their head. Because, I'll be honest, I'd never heard of him. We were at Rotherham and didn't exactly light it up. No. And then it's like everyone knows everything. And I don't think it's like, it were down to a fee. Oh, he wants to stay in London. Oh, fuck him. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Oh, Charlton have offered more money. And do you know what? They could have offered more money, but Danny Reel might have said to him that you're not going to play every week. Yeah, you're a fringe player to start off with. And I know sometimes I make references to playing Football Manager. Obviously, that is trying to be ultra realistic. I don't know this for certain, but if you play Football Manager and you click fringe player, you can't offer him as much wages. If you click key player or whatever, star player, you can offer him a bit more. And maybe that's the case, that we might not have offered him as much, but we can't offer him to play every week. But he's going to go to Charlton. He might want to play football every week. But he's going to go to Charlton and probably play every single week. So they might actually be able to offer a little bit more money for wages. He might just want to play football. Well, and he was at West Ham. Charlton's not far from West Ham, is it? It's certainly a lot closer than it is to go to Sheffield. Just to the side of the river, isn't it? Yeah. So he doesn't have to move. And I think people forget all that kind of personal side of things. And he's only, he's 20. They're people. Thing is, if it come out and it were like, and we knew for definite that it were, we refused to pay this, then he's like, all right, let's kick off. But it's a lad who we weren't that bothered about, weren't that great in his other championship escapades. And he's picked a League One team. Until we know facts, I'll stick booting on Chansiri every opportunity I get. But I'm not going to spit dummy out over Connor Coventry. It's not like it's someone who's lit it up and it's not like it's Ben Marshall, is it? the other thing as well, which again, we don't know the ins and outs and stuff, but we're in this mess that we're in because of financial fair play and spending over the odds for players and giving big wages and big contracts that then players just chose to run down rather than go elsewhere because, they couldn't get the same money at other clubs. Again, that's not a fact, but it's pretty much, I think that is as close to the truth as you could probably get. Yeah. Now, what about if we are in a situation where we've looked and we've got as limits and we can't offer over the odds? Maybe Charlton are offering
over the odds for their play. Their pops they might be doing what we were doing, a few seasons back. So it's like, I'm not trying to praise Chansiri because, we all know how we all feel about the chairman, but you can't have it both ways, can you? Again, if that is the reason. If
there's a fine line to walk, and we know that outside of the fan base, we don't generate enough revenue. We know that, there's League One teams that generate better in terms of sponsorships and whatnot than what we do. We get all that, and there's a fine line. And it also coupled with annoyance that we've not really spent any fees properly since about 2018-ish.
Yeah.
We are not spending. It's clear he's got no money. There's no point getting upset about it, is what I'm saying. It's like, we know his skin, we know he's this, that, and the other. It's nothing. I'm not surprised by it. And to be fair, I'd rather us. I'm not saying I'd rather us shop in bargain basement. We should be aiming a bit higher, but I don't want to be, like you said, getting into the silly position we were a few years ago. Yeah, because that's what caused this fucking spiral of nonsense, isn't it?
I think you can get some good players on a free.
You can if you've got the right teams in. You can.
All them frees and loans we got last season, we should have pissed league, shouldn't we? Ipswich were nowhere near as good as us. Their squad's crap, evidently.
Yeah. Right. Let's get on to next game then. One of 2 games against Coventry in a week. First one is in the league. Gone from one form side to another. They're 9 games unbeaten in all competition. That extends to 1 defeat in 13, which was against Ipswich, by the way. No surprise that they're sat inside the playoff places now. 19 goals in their last 6 games, which included the 2-0 win against us on Boxing Day. The only saving grace is that 7 of their 8 defeats this season have come on the road. So, obviously, the next game is at Hillsborough. That is a little bit of a, like I said, saving grace. They have just beat Leicester 3-1, though. Leicester were 1-0 up, then they got a man sent off. And in the second half, they put 3 past them. That was at what's it called? The CBS Arena, is it? Coventry?
Rico. Always bit Rico.
Yeah.
I say always bit Rico, like it's steeped in history. It's a fucking horrible ground. I hate that place.
It's funny, I heard Reading, one of the Reading fans talking about obviously what happened there, which we will touch on, by the way, in extra time as well. And they called it the Select Car Leasing Stadium. And I'm like, it's just a Medeski, isn't it?
Yeah.
Their stadium is just a Medeski. Like, it's not Select Car Leasing Stadium. It's not as bad as that Bolton one, Tough Sheet, or whatever it's called.
We went past it over there, didn't we? Yeah. When we were looking for, this was before we started dieting, when we played Preston. We went to the Tough Sheet Stadium McDonald's.
Did you? That was in between Christmas and New Year, wasn't it? That Friday night game, weren't it?
Yeah.
Down there. But yeah, what changes, Liam, would you make from the side? Because I'm sure there will be a couple of changes.
I don't see Momo in there if he's ready. Or
not Bernard, basically.
Not Bernard. And if that means Palmer going to, I wouldn't mind seeing Palmer in there again. But if we don't need to, Palmer can play right back. If we're playing 4 at the back, Palmer, Hekwe, Bernard, Johnson.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bambo. And yeah, Momo, Baz, Windass 10. I don't mind the front 3 again against them. I think we need to keep giving Masaba game time. He's shown enough in certain games to keep going with him.
It's funny with Masaba and Gassama, I feel like it's either one or the other. In games in recent weeks.
Yeah, either one plays well in there.
Yeah, one's had a good game, the other one not so. You look at the one where Gassama scored against Hull, he had a great game. Masaba didn't do a great deal. You know what I mean? They've both not been firing. I think if they're both playing well, it would be frightening. Do you know what I mean? To have that sort of pace, someone running down both wings, and if we can both just get up to them levels, but he's just, at the moment, it's like Gassama's probably playing a little bit better than what Masaba is and everything, but yeah, just getting both firing.
It's like the whole thing, like this kind of result on the whole, and this reality check. I don't think it is, because I didn't. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, some fans do, but you got to remember, like we've been saying with the players, our manager's also very young.
Yeah,
it's his first managerial job. If he makes a fucking mistake against nearly top at league. You know,
a team that's played 19 games. 19 other teams have come up against.
You know, if he has
Southampton and not beat them. So
obviously, different situation because we were. But say it's like the Plymouth game last season.
Yeah.
Well, you know, which is probably the bloke still getting fucking crucified for that. But anyway, you know, if we're playing Huddersfield in a few weeks and he makes a batshit decision and it costs us the game, then fair enough. You know, that's...
Yeah.
You know, but then you still, even in that case, you've still got to remember he's young. But do you know what I mean? It in that game, it'd be a lot more... I don't even know what word I'm looking for, but obviously it's a lot more detrimental, isn't it?
Yeah.
And disappointing and whatever else, but he's still learning his trade. And
I agree.
You
Definitely.
know, is it? I don't know. I don't know if I'm nasty up for him a bit more, but is it that naive? Is it that against top of the league? Because I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Would you make any changes, Lewis? Do you think it's Beadle's first? Is he going to make his debut against Coventry?
I'll leave that to Gaffer. Thing is, I've been calling for Dawson out for ages, and I don't think he's played badly recently, so I can't really be a dickhead and say, "Oh yeah, get him out while he's playing." All right, I don't think he did spectacular the other day. I wouldn't be. I would predict he'd come out. I would hope Bambo come out because for me, he shouldn't have gone back in. And he's had an absolute stinker. And that's not to say I'd never play again. He's not good. Blah, 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 blah. Just
never wear shirts again.
Because
Because
we're all getting a bit carried away. Just, you know, like, you had a crap game. You're sitting out. You know, it's funny, isn't it? Like, other week when we played Hull, which for me is our best performance at season, I saw that lineup and thought, what the fucking hell's he doing? Yeah.
Now I'm like, I'd happily go back to that Coventry game. I would happily do that exact same thing, but I don't know. I bet we'll all go in this Saturday. We'll see it and think, what the bleeding hell's happened here? And it'll be a absolutely barnstormer of a game. So, like, I don't know. For me, Bambo's got to be dropped. Get Deschamps. Just don't take Deschamps out of that back line.
Yeah,
Deschamps and Hector for me for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I hope he sees that as a bit of a mistake. And yeah, I think Momo, Volks, or Palmer, any of those three are better than, Bernard playing in that middle, really. And yeah, other than that,
is Byers back yet?
Byers is back. Yeah, he serves his 3-game suspension. So there's Byers as well that could come in. Although I don't think he's been great in the recent games that he has played. But yeah, there's a lot more options. Let's say. Go on, then, let's do a prediction. Then, what's the? I'll go with my prediction first. Then I'm gonna.
Why'd you watch me turn page at pad? I was trying to tell you we aren't saying that.
Here's your pad.
No, I said pen. I said pen. Play it back. That's it. We four. That's only me and Jack.
Nah, fuck off.
If you were wondering where Jack was, he's in Poland, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah, he's cracking on in Krakow.
Yeah.
Probably frozen.
I know it's
freezing his bollocks off.
I looked so like, is he
minus 10 when he landed?
Was it? Christ! I was looking, thinking, has he sneaked?
Marcos under Cisco.
I looked for. Is he going to sneak a game of football in? I think they have a break over at this point. It must always be really cold at this point. Yeah. So no, what was it? Wisla Krakow, I think, is the team in anyway.
You should bring if you're listening, Jack, bring us all the shirts up.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna go for. I always predict to win. I've got to stay positive, Anna. I'm gonna predict a 2-1 win, and it's gonna be Bailey Cadamartri to score first. Lewis, what are you gonna go for?
You know, it's funny, I've got a family member who's a Coventry fan, and he messaged me in week, and I went, tell you what, you can have FA Cup as long as we get league, and he went, that sounds a fair deal to me. So I'm going to go 2-0 Wednesday, and I'm going to say first goal scorer, Marvin Johnson.
Good shout.
I've got 1-0 Johnson.
Yeah,
I can't wait until we see line up and Johnson's on bench and Bambo's at left back.
And left back at home.
Right. On that shit joke, gonna wrap it up there. Obviously, we'll be back next week with another episode. Fingers crossed, we're talking about a win against Coventry. If you want to listen to Extra Time, which we're going to record straight after this, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/WTIDPod, and you can get that. Make sure you follow us on social media as well, at WTIDPod, across all the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, FaceSpace, whatever, Bebo.
Send us some Bebo love.
MSN, everywhere else.
Liam's watching the MSN Messenger tonight. Give him a nudge. Dig-a-ding, dig-a-ding.
So yeah, follow us on all social media platforms and just get involved, basically. Right. Thank you very much. And we'll see you all on Extra Time if you're listening.
Did you reboot then?
Control Alt Delete. It's crashed.
Everyone's banging the YouTube now.
That MSN. Dial-up.
He's frozen, look. Hey, just on that, by the way, you know when you look at how things have come on, I can remember when we used to get home from school, first thing we used to do, we were like, go on computer. I've just talked to my mates at school, and then I have to go on computer and talk to him again.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, broadband weren't really out at that point, were they? Certainly weren't out. This is probably early 2000s. Is it early 2000s? Yeah. Secondary school, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And
mid.
My mum would be shouting at me like, because obviously you used to have to plug cable in to take phone line out and plug internet.
Oh, on dial-up here.
On dial-up, yeah. Making all noises. I remember I used to download, like Wednesday pictures, and it used to like download like line by line, like fucking typewriter with drawing it. Do you know what I mean? Like could draw an Etch-a-Sketch quicker. And then it'd come and they'd be wrong photo. You just sat there for 10 minutes when photo.
Honest, mum, it's wrong photo. I'm trying to get a picture of Gerald Sivan.
We've got a picture of Geraldine instead.
Wait, we're coming up. I thought it were two Guy Branstons.
Get it off.
Sorry, everybody.
This took a turn for worse, didn't it? A fucking mad shit joke, then.
Best thing about it, my computer in kitchen. Kitchen dining room. Anyway.
You used to have it in kitchen. What a fucking odd place.
On that stand, the right crap stand.
Yeah.
It was from Tiny. It weren't tiny either. Fucking massive, that computer.
We got our first family computer from PC World. I know we're wrapping up. This is boring, but from PC World.
Anyone's still listening? Anyone's still with it?
We had it less than 24 hours and it were on that stand, a bit precarious. And my dad like, just wait until you go in it because I'm going to fit it in properly. You've never heard a bang like it.
Christ.
And it survived, didn't it?
Well, no. We took it back to PC World. We must
give us a box like that.
Me and my dad have been in a field with baseball bats on it. And you know what? They swapped it, the silly bastards.
It's like a monitor. Monitor was as deep as it were wide, weren't it? It was like just a big cube box.
Well, we actually, our first one, we had one of them LED screens. But if you move
hell, posh bastard over here.
If you moved like an inch to left or right, the screen just went completely black.
You had to be square on to see it.
Straight on.
On privacy screens or whatever.
Yeah, that's what they use on ATMs, I'm sure now.
Anyway, we are definitely going now.
Liam, what were your first PC?
I can't fucking remember.
Anyway, right. See you next time. Cheers, guys.
Ta-da.